I know you was just dying to know my age. That's what happened.
You think so?
Yeah.
No.
I know you are.
How did we talk about starting?
Typical. That was really exciting.
Said I was old. That's why.
All right, we're going to get started in just a couple minutes here. And today's class will be about postcards and sending postcards through command. No, they are not free, but they do the, like, we don't need to know the addresses, like command knows the addresses. So you basically just need to like circle an area. It does the postage and printout for you all within a cost. And cost wise, I will show you the whole like breakdown of cost, but like you're looking at like $1 per postcard regularly. So like that's typically what we're looking at cost wise. Yeah, with postage included. Truly. Yeah, because it could take a lot, like to even collect those addresses, get those addresses, export them in the mailing, like all that, like you don't need to even worry about because command got you covered.
I mean, the cheapest one I found yesterday was 75 cents per postcard plus postage.
So yeah, so that's pretty
cool.
Yeah, it does it all for you. So yeah, definitely recommend. From what we've heard, like feedback wise from other agents that use this tool, is they really like it. It does great quality, it does great convenience, it's centralized right in their command database. So get great feedback about this tool in command. So we're going to kind of go through two different examples. We're going to do one for like a listing example. So if you have just listed, just sold, kind of vibe that you want to go towards, we're going to start with that one. And then we'll also do more of a farming as well, like to showcase that. With our postcard in general, just we've kind of run a few postcards now. So strategically, what we're seeing is like for listing postcards, for example, when you typically, like when an agent goes gets a live listing, they don't necessarily jump to do a postcard right away, just because it is money out. So usually what we see is that they let it sit a little bit, like the property, and maybe not perform or it's not getting off the market. That might be a good time to send out a postcard. What we see most regularly is sending like a just sold postcard after you sell it, really to, you know, sell yourself to the rest of the neighborhood. So that's the most common listing postcard that we see. So that's the example I'll do today. And with farming in general, specifically, it's all so instead of like, let's say you get a listing, you just sell in one neighborhood and another one, you're thinking about sending postcards out to both neighborhoods, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that out or strategically. It's about 6 months, it takes 6 to 8 months of consistent farming to actually see an ROI on it. And what a lot of agents do incorrectly is they send out one postcard, they see nothing from it, and then they stop because they don't want to spend any more money on it, something that's not working. Well, that timeline is looking like 6 months of consistent farming to actually see a return. So instead of thinking about, okay, I'm going to send a postcard to a huge neighborhood and hit 1,000 people for this postcard, what I would recommend instead is focusing on a farming area that might be a little smaller from the start. So maybe like 100 homes, even like a smaller neighborhood. And then that way you can be more consistent about your farming and hitting them more regularly with postcards in the same way. Recommendation there. What we're going to start with and here is actually just building out a postcard right from the direct mail campaign section and through this through the templates they have in there. So for this, oh, and I forgot to mention, anything I'm going over today, if you have questions or you would like a one-on-one appointment where we sit down and just do this postcard together, coming to our internal site, kwbresources.com, and clicking I need tech help in the top right corner, it's going to bring you right to our calendar so that you can book with us. And again, we can do things like this together, so you're not alone in it. But for the most part in today's class, I'm going to be right in command, which is at agent.kw.com. So feel free to go ahead and get signed in here. And to start off with I'm going to start with the campaign section, which is going to be this megaphone icon on the left-hand side. And as we're learning this toolbar on the left-hand side, we could always click that KW in the top left. It's going to expand those out so you can like see what those icons actually mean. But yes, we're navigating to the campaign section. Then when we come to the campaign section, there's going to be this top white toolbar near the top, and we can click over to direct mail if we would like to bring us to our quote unquote like direct mail dashboard. So as we're creating postcards and sending those out, we're going to see all our activity here, as well as like our drafted postcards as well. So if you want to come back and work on that at a later time. To start with our build out, we're just going to go up to create campaign in the top right. And for postcard, we're going to click direct mail. Now we do need to give it a name and a goal, but nobody sees this except you. So this is just for your organization purposes, so you know what you're sending out. So for this, I'm going to do a just sold. And I'm going to kind of jump in a new tab real fast just to go find a listing for us to use today. And I'm going to just go ahead and open up my command website to find that. Oh. So if you have a just sold listing that you want to use, of course, use that one. If you want to use one as an example, I'm just going to go to my command website to find one to use so that I could use this for the build out.
Hi, we cannot see the screen if you're sharing.
Thank you very much for letting me know that. I appreciate that.
No problem. Hi.
Can you see it now?
Yes, we can see
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much for letting me know that. I appreciate you.
All right. Do you mind going over again?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So where I am in command, and that's at agent.kw.com, I'm in the campaign section, which is this megaphone icon on the left-hand side. And when I click on that, it brings you first to like an overarching campaigns dashboard. But if you click over on that white top toolbar to direct mail, this is like your quote unquote direct mail dashboard. So you can see anything you've previously mailed out and then like draft posts as well. And from here, where we went is up to create campaign in the top right and direct mail for our option type. And this is where we're back at.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It just sold postcard. Yeah. What do you mean track listing? Like, oh, I got you. Yeah. So yeah, I would select the track listings, but again, yeah, really for your organization purposes, so you know what you're sending here. So for that name, I'm going to say just sold, and I'm going to include the address, which that's what I'm also in a new tab. I went to my command website just to find a listing to use as an example today. So what I'm going to do for this, I'm just going to find a Charlotte, North Carolina listing for this. So to do that, I can search for that. And on our website, we're able to, for one, it's synced with the MLS. So it is looking for any listings in any brokerage. Now, just a heads up for compliance purposes, we can only market our Ballantyne area listing. So you cannot advertise another brokerage listing. And it is like common courtesy to like reach out and ask them for permission to do that. But like compliance wise, you're allowed to promote other Ballantyne listings. That note being said, I do want to find a Ballantyne listing as an example today so we can actually create something that is in compliant. So I'm jumping one more time. I'm very sorry. But I'm going to jump in a new tab and I'm going to go to agent.kw.com. Just command. And there's a listing section in command. So, I mean, typically agents always like go to the MLS for their listings. But just a heads up, if it's like outside our listing, like local listing, we can come to the listing section in command as well. When we click on listings, it first shows you your current listings you have, but we can come up to the white top toolbar and click on search to search for all listings. And for this, I'm going to search in my area. I did click allow to allow it to see my location. If not, you can also just put in our location. But then on the right-hand side, I'm going to filter to only see our market center listings. So under market center here, I can click on Ballantyne area and apply. And that's going to show me just like our Valentine listings that I, compliance-wise, can advertise. Okay, I got you. Are you in a new tab and you went to command? Okay, on the left-hand side, the listing section is like the second to last icon. And then click search near the top of the page. And then it might pop like allow location to see your location. I like to click allow so it sees that. If you are more private, you could not allow that and just type in the location. But then the key step next was to come over to filters and to go to market center. And just click ours so we can just see ours. So technically compliance wise, we can advertise any of these listings. But again, it's nice to courtesy to just reach out and ask for permission. So from this, I'm just going to select one I like here. This one works great. Oh, and since I'm also doing it as a sold listing, I could also filter by sold, you know, to really narrow that down. I think this one is a sold listing, so great. And just a heads up too, when we click on that listing, you can see who the listing agent is right on this page. So if you do want to reach out or for permission, they're listed right there. Okay, so I'm going to keep this tab open just so I have the property information there. And then I'm going to go back to the tab where we were creating our postcard campaign. So if you need to open a new tab, do so. So for the name, I have just sold, and I'm just going to use this address again, just so I know what it is and what I sent out. And for the goal, yes, I like to track listings. So I'm going to click on that one and then click create campaign. So this is the build out that we're going to go through. So basically, we're just going to check those sections on the left. And as we're going through those sections, we're going to see a preview on the right hand. So starting with content, if we click on that, going to like drop it down. And then for the template, so with the template types, like we can click on that and it's going to show us a little drop down here. Anything to look out for, we have 3 options: 4x6, 6x9, 6x11. What we typically see performs best is a 6x9 postcard. It's that nice middle ground where it's not a 4x6 where it just gets shuffled into their mail and thrown away. And those 6x11s are pretty darn big. Like they are big. So they're a little much in my opinion, but I mean, man, they stand out. So if you are looking for something that stand out, those 6x11 is a good option. But of course, the bigger the size, the more expensive it is. Yeah. So that's the most common option. Now, the different sizes do have kind of different looks to their templates, but again, I would still focus on which size you want most, and then select based off that. So for like the large one, for example, you could click between the two to see like kind of the different looks we can get. As we build this out, we're going to actually see it. So I'm going to select default template, which is a 6x9 one. And then I'm going to move down and go with text and the description for this postcard so I can see this get built out on the right-hand side. So starting with the header, this is a nice big text, and I'm just going to say just sold for this. 6x9 is what we see most commonly, but the 4x6 is going to be cheaper for you. So really, it does matter. Yeah, absolutely. And for enter the subtitle, I'm going to put the address here. So I'm just going to go back to my listing page so I can copy that and paste it into my subline. Then for the description, you can kind of get creative based off the actual instance. So let's say that we're under contract and sold in a week, under a week. That's something you want to highlight the description part. Maybe more so you want to highlight the neighborhood. So maybe this description part is a little bit more about the neighborhood. Or maybe it's about you. Maybe you want to showcase you as an agent. So maybe it's like a little bio about yourself. I recommend switching it up. Like if you just sold postcards in a neighborhood, one of them have a testimonial on there. Another one have a bio. Another one have neighborhood info. That way they're getting more value from you. Not just like home evaluation on every single one, because then they're going to see you and just go, oh, I know this is going to get there. Yeah. So definitely recommend switching up the section here. What I'm gonna do for this testimonial area or the description area is I think I'm going to do like an example of like it went under contract fast in under a week and why that matters to them. What I would recommend using for your description area, you've been in my class before, is ChatGPT. It's my best friend, and Leah is the word side of our business and I'm the number side, so I really like ChatGPT for my words. So I just went in a new tab, sorry for all the tabs in advance, and I looked up ChatGPT. You do not even have to sign in to use it. It's free to use, so you don't have to use it. Go down though to the bottom of this page and click Ask ChatGPT to start writing. And I'm going to say act as a real estate professional. And that's always how I start my prompts with ChatGPT for real estate stuff. And write me a paragraph for a postcard. So I always like to include what I'm putting it on. And I also note that I only have 1,000 characters here. So I'm going to tell ChatGPT in 1,000 characters so that I'm not going over. Characters or less. For a just sold postcard in Charlotte, North Carolina, that went under contract and sold in under a week. With a call to action to call me for their real estate needs. Throw as much info as you can at ChatGPT. The thing is, the more you throw at it, the better the results is going to be. So now we have this little paragraph that we can use. I'm probably just going to leave out the headline and just include like the paragraph part here. So I'm going to copy that, go back here and paste that in. Oh, and I forgot the call part. And then call me to make this a success. Always, of course, read it, make sure it sounds like you, tweak it to whatever more sounds like your voice. Because I'm sure other people are using ChatGPT, so we want to make that human and make it sound like us. And then I'm going to put my phone number here. No. 21239. Perfect. And perfect. And where this is actually displaying, like we type this all in, it's actually on the back. So right now this preview is showing us the front of this, but if we go to the back side, this is how it's looking on the back. So it's putting it all on the back for us. So it's creating it for us. But I'm going to go back to the front so I can see when I add this photo in. So the next spot we're going to do here is add in the photo. So for this, I'm going to be able to browse my computer files. So another reason I like to have this listing page up, I can grab the photos right from here as well. So right now we're on the details tab, but if we come over here to photos, we have all the photos from the MLS that pull right in. Right. So, I mean, utilizing the front of the house works great. If they have maybe a nice backyard or a nice kitchen to use, you can pick any of the photos that you want to use. We're just going to click on it and then right click and save as image. So we can save it onto our. That's saved it on our computer. Now we can go back over to browse, like, or to our photo section to browse this and like pull in that photo for our listing. Like for the template creation, yeah, that's pretty standard. It's like but if we create a custom one, which I'll show later too, then it's what like not as much more characters like limit to it. So this is more so, yeah, if we're utilizing like the template options in here, but I'm going to show also an example of using custom like content from designs. Then moving on down, so past the text area is your information, and all of this is pulling from your marketing profile, so it should be good to go. The only thing I notice that I always have to do when I come in here is just add a dash so that it like makes it the right format before I click save. Like it won't let me click save unless I do that. And then this always happens. When I use any image ever, it always says that it's low resolution. But if we go, there's going to be a final preview where I'll show you that we can confirm that it's not low resolution, because we've sent out so many postcards with this, like with the listing images, and they turn out fantastic. No wonder it does that. But I'll show you where we can confirm and feel really good about how it looks, like the resolution wise. So let's click use image for now so we can get the check next to it. And we're just going to move on down to the next one, which is Market Center. Now, again, this should be pulling from your marketing profile. However, I always see that I always have to put in the zip code. So that should be what you have to do, but maybe not. And then we're going to click verify address. And when we do that, it's going to pop up like so. And we're going to click on this toggle here in the middle of the screen so that we can click on confirm address. And then that gives us a check, just like that. Oh, yeah, okay, yes. So yeah, there is a character limit for this one. What is compliant actually is if we list our name as Keller Williams Ballantyne area. Yeah, you don't need the Charlotte. That is like our DBA name, like, yeah. And it's in the character limit, so that's great. Very much. Good question, and then click save, and that gave it a little mark. The next is our targeting. This is where I really get excited. So for one, I think it's cool that, okay, if you do get physical addresses for your contacts into command, and you add them to that contact record, you can target your database. So if you're trying to send a postcard out about an event, the city, you can target your database right through here. And again, they do the postage and send out you. I think that's really cool too. Like that's just how they do it. Like that. So, with the 201 Club, grabbing those physical addresses, this is one of those reasons of why that can be hugely important. So whether you reach out to them for their physical address or you go like in the MLS tax records, their homeowner, you should be able to find their address, put in the command so you can send a postcards whenever. Yeah, like an email kind of deal. Yes, you can do emails right through here. You can send messages through here, like we'll send lots of things. I really love the ability to be able to target your database with a postcard. Like they see you on social media, they see you in their email inbox, and now you're showing up in their mailbox. They're like, wow, their business is booming. Like, holy cow, they're everywhere. So love that. But then for this one, since it's a listing, a local targeting would work best for a listing, depending on what your goal is. So if you're trying to farm a specific neighborhood, you do need to know like one address in that neighborhood so that it can get a centralized spot. For a like just sold, I usually just use like the listing address. So I'm going to go back and grab that listing address for my targeting. Copy it, paste it. Okay. So now we have our targeting, have a check mark on it, and click save. For budget, we actually can change that on the next page. So I don't usually change anything on this page. I go up to configure targeting in the top right corner. Oh, actually, before you click on that though, sorry. There's an option to also add a QR code. This is newer, so bear with me as I'm going through these steps. That's what I thought. Yeah, so right now, they're only assigned to landing pages, which I think is kind of a bummer because now with the new website experience, like landing pages aren't as prominent of a tool there. That's still an ability that you're able to do is create landing pages in command. So that might be a reason why, because you can use them on postcards. So it looks like steps wise, we would want to create the landing page first before we create our postcard so that we could select it from the drop down. I thought we were gonna be able to like copy and paste the URL, so I'm sorry. But I will go through the steps of setting up a landing page too, so we can see that. But for now, go ahead and just turn that QR code toggle off so that we don't have to QR code. The QR code is a really great way to bring your print marketing to life. If they do, throw it away. They should have something to scan so they can keep your info on your phone, on their phone, so they have you. So let's just move on to configure targeting in the top right corner and do yes. And that's going to like create our campaign. So now we've technically created like a draft so that we can always come up with this. So this is hitting the by default. What this does is highlight or targeting the 200 homes that listing. So it does a radius of 200 homes around the listing address that we put in. Now, if we wanted to like increase or decrease this number, like let's say we just want to target 100 homes, we could just type into this box the amount of homes that we want to target, and it's going to change that radius to only target 100 homes. Now, my favorite tool in here, so there also is an option of draw so that we can get really specific with our targeting. But versus draw, I think the polygon tool is much more user-friendly. Drawing, you have to like click and like click, kind of get the area, versus the polygon tool, every time you click, it changes the direction. So if we want to like really get a shape in here, we can, every time we click, it changes the direction. We need to close the shape so it will change that number up in the top left, and it shows us how many we're targeting here. And this is why I really don't pay much attention to the budget part of the preview page, because we're able to change this all right here. So like based off how many homes we're targeting, we could, even after we close this shape, we could use these dots here and expand that out. It's going to grab more. If there's like a house that you know you don't want to hit or has a realtor in it, you can also remove them manually. So I like hovering over it, it's going to show you like the info about it, but you can also click on remove. And you'll see like here it says, like, even though it's 380 homes, 379 are now targeted. So that's that. And of course down here we can like filter this a little further. I see this most popularly with like rural areas, like if they're really trying to like broaden their search, like more single family homes, then I've seen that be used, but honestly I don't see this. It's cool that you can do it. And then down here is where we can choose class. Now, like four by six, there's only one when you only do first class with 4 by 6. But with 6 by 9 and 6 by 11, we can stand for first class. First class mails out in their mailbox 4 to 6 business days. Standard is 7 to 14 business days. So depending on how fast you get it in your mailbox, basically, you can pick the postage and the price. And then right underneath that, there's a checkbox to send a copy to the company address. I would recommend doing so. That way you can see what they got and when they got it. And it would just show up in your website. Yeah, like so this market skeleton, so you can see like what was sent and it's like. You would definitely like to remove those ones. I don't think there's. There is, especially when you use the template, it does include our compliance, and it says that exactly, like, it's not meant for solicitation. And I'll double check that. So this is gonna bring us to the final stage. And this is where it's going to show us that preview that I recommend, like as the final preview. Like that preview we saw on the first page as we built it out. There's like a little note above it that says this is not an official preview. And I do take like I do notice that sometimes it's a little this this is the main preview. So once I have it out, I can click on this like red viewing larger preview. And it does take a minute for this to load. But then we can see this fully built out. Let me see if that will. And it does have that statement on there. Yeah, if the property. It has the. So this is our final preview. We can see all of the information at the bottom here. Even so we can. And with targeting like an area, it's just going to put like current resident as the recipient. So now it's a matter of putting in our email so that we're notified as soon as it's ordered and sent out, and then our card information, and we can go ahead and make that payment. And it does it all. It does post and send out. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, that's a really good use of it that I don't see like too common, like where you're targeting one person in your database. Like we did have a client that was like, she just tagged 25 people in her database that she wanted to like constantly send postcards to. Once a month, she just sent a new farming postcard to, and she got a couple leads from that. And she's just targeting hot leads that she knows she wants some business from. And that's not too much out, you know, budget wise too. It's probably a month. And oh, and two, what this is great for this scenario for a later date. So if you're wanting to send a specific postcard, maybe on their birthday, you can also schedule that for a specific date so that you like set it up once and then it does. So that's especially great for farming when it's all about consistency. Like if you sat down and did 6 postcards and you did 6 months and then you just never thought about it, that's how it's done. Like that's how you should go about it really, because then it's consistent. And that's okay. So that was using using a template like through the direct mail. I'm gonna do more of a farming example now through the design section. Because when I was testing this out earlier, but hopefully it should be enough. So to create a post, and we can also other than the options, we also have some in design. Just go to design and click create design, right? Because it's a print, a bunch of or flyers, postcards. So in designs, which is the paintbrush icon, yeah, and then print. Ooh, do a refresh. Do you get? Yeah, I see. Oh yeah, do a refresh like 3 times. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people down there. Do you have it? You don't. Ooh, okay, I mean, if you incognito, like a window, that usually helps. So like if you're in Chrome or wherever, usually it's like the 3 dots and then do new in private. Is everybody else struggling or for this? We can do here. So on the left-hand side, you're going to see different categories that we can use. So based on the category, we can find different options. And there's one specifically I really like. Under so this is on the left-hand side and favorite snaps. And then when we click on any categories on the left-hand side, we're going to get like ways to narrow this down more at the very top. So for created this, that was a lot. So, both of these have like the same content, it's really the look different, but we're gonna be able to do everything, so, just pick one that you like best and hover over and click it. For this specific category, like a neighborhood snap post. There's other posts that are more like, holiday, for example, things like that. I really do like these neighborhood snap ones because this graphic in particular. So this graphic right here, we can actually change out very easily. And it's my parts about designs in command is that it's synced with the MLS. So let's just start with that graphic actually. To create this graphic, what we're going to do on the left side, we're going to click on AWLS. Now, the first thing we can do search here is for listing information. So putting in listing information, like details, photos, and whatnot, is really easy to type in command line. But we can also click over to snapshots, like near-ish the top. And we can search by either neighborhood name or postal code. So let's say we're like targeting a specific neighborhood that we want. And make sure that we click like hours and not like this one is wax. Oh, but clicking on our neighborhood name. I think I did click it. And I find like the North Carolina one. Got it. I will say, if you aren't finding neighborhood, I would try zip code. It's just because, okay, so like neighborhood details, those are the next door app or like next door. And there's sometimes some discrepancies because of like the way neighborhood, like ours are, so because of that, there's like some discrepancies. So if you're not finding it by search by postal code instead. I would always recommend the numbers just to make sure it's not incorporating like other neighborhoods. But we can search by name and then click on that like neighborhood name. And that's going to generate this little graphic for us. And it does a few. So we're looking for like the one that's matching the screen. And instead of just like clicking on this to add it to our page, what I would recommend doing is clicking on this graphic first. And then as long as we clicked on that first, we're going to get an extra option that's like a replace icon. So that it's just simply going to replace it and I don't have to go resizing it. Okay, is it just me or does that look blurry? Okay. So again, like I said, with neighborhood discrepancies, I'm kind of glad that happened because you might see that from time to time where it's not pulling the right numbers for that. So what I would recommend for this, one of two things, we could either just cover it up, then do nothing, or we could cover it up and go to the MLS and like find the actual info and re-put that in. So what I would do for this is I would go to shapes up at the top. I just like pull in like a rectangle. I would put it right over this. Now, I would match the colors by anytime we click on an element on our design, we're going to get extra options near the top. So for this example, there's like a few options there where we can change the color. And I'm just going to make it black so that I can just hide the section here. And then, or I could not hide average sold price and add in a text box to add in the actual number. So I could come over here to text on the left-hand side, add in like a subtitle and put in the actual number from the MLS. So then with other parts of this postcard, this is kind of great training with designs and section or the design section in general, because the steps are pretty similar with even like social media or flyers. So to change things in the design, double clicking will allow you to change what's in the text box. So double clicking, you can change what's saying here. Oh, so for the like this part. So I did kind of a workaround. It was I hid the other number with a shape. So this is like how it was displaying before. And what I did was I went up to shapes at the top and I like added in a rectangle to hide it. Now, when I first did that by default, it was like a different color. So I also like went up here to change it to black. So it would like be right in there. And then at that point, I came over to the text on the left-hand side and added this in like how the subtitle works. And I do need to change the color so I can see it. And then I just like manually put that in and resized it. Yeah, yeah, this is more of a workaround than anything. At least the rest of the info was in there. Yeah. And then, yeah, again, double clicking allows you to change what's in there. And then single clicking on it will allow you to change the format. So like the font, the color, the size, anything like that. With images, I do love the fact that we have a bunch of options for stock images right in Command. So I always recommend whatever element you're working on to click on it first. So for one, it should bring you right to that section on the menu bar. But also we're gonna get that switch out option as well. So if I just like search for house here, maybe find one that looks more like Hunter Oaks and not like that, like this one. So what I could do is like, as long as I'm clicked on this first, I'm gonna get this extra icon that looks like a circle and I can just like replace it. Based off whichever picture you want to add there and wait for it to load. There we go. So then with this postcard, there's a back. So we just did the front part. We can, oh, sorry, that was fast. In the bottom right, there's it says pages. We can click on that and get to the back from here. Switch back over to there. And there's a few things we're gonna have to fill out here. Double clicking again will allow you to change what's in there. So let's fill out our information. But what's great about Commands Designs as well is that we're able to duplicate designs. So if we spend time to, do this once kind of deal, and you want to send out a postcard moving forward, we can always duplicate this so that we don't have to go recreating this all again. So if you do spend the time to do this, it's worth it. For the app URL, I think that might be actually in your assets. So if you have a spot for your app URL, what you might be able to do is come over here to text on the left-hand side and go to my assets. My app's here. I don't know if that was default or I added it. Is your app there? Yes. Is anything there? Ah, bummer. Yeah. Well, that's a good thing to add too. Either your app or website. Honestly, to be quite honest, unless you're using a QR code for your app, there's no way in heck someone's going to type in that app URL to get, like, unless you have a QR code to your app, I wouldn't recommend your app URL. I would recommend your website URL. That's much easier to type in than that. So either a QR code to your app or your website URL actually works great there. So I'm going to say, instead of download my app, I'm going to say visit my website. And then I'm going to put it, I'm going to put in just a keyboard shortcut hack for any of you that want to know. Control Z if you're not on a Mac, and Command Z if you are on a Mac is undo. And I use it about 1,000 times a day. Yeah. Just my whole life. That and ChatGPT. Oh, and a reminder with your website, just not to put www dot in front of it if you're using this domain here. If you have a custom domain, that does not apply to you. If you're using your command domain that has the .kw.com in there, they do not work with www dot in front of it. If you're getting business cards, putting on a postcard, don't put it in front. Next is our paragraph part. So where are we going? So I'm going to use ChatGPT for this. Of course, like I mentioned before, this would be a great spot for also like something like a bio or testimonial to put here, since it's more of a farming one that's selling you. Or we can see how much info it has on Hunter Oaks to see how valuable we can get. So I'm going to say active. Ooh, yeah. and write a short paragraph on the Hunter Oaks neighborhood in Charlotte and see. Let's see how much info it has. That all sounds right. That's great. Wow, that's crazy. That's just wild. I can't believe it does that. Okay, well, I'm definitely going to use this. So I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to go back to my design and I'm just going to paste this in here. But, wow, just saves so much time. And then this is something also to look out on these designs in here. There's always going to be these like PDA name logos, and it's a placeholder to remind you to put our logo in there. So same kind of steps though, I would recommend clicking on it first and making sure that you are clicking on that and not like the shape behind it. A little finicky. And then it should take you to logos on the left-hand side automatically. And we can go over to my assets where all our logos are. And if you don't have your logos there, just let me know. I think they're pulling from your marketing profile. Yeah. Okay, so now we've got, oh wait, I forgot my face. This, neat. Okay, for this, also pulling from your marketing profile. So under images and my assets, basically this is my assets. When you see that, that should be pulling like your info there so that you can easily grab it and put it on the design. So for example, my headshots here, as long as I'm clicked on it first, I'll get that replace icon so I can just put me in there. Well, there, but not too shabby. Now, this is where though we need to kind of do some extra steps in a sense, because we just need to know how we want how command wants you to upload that. So for one, the download type, we can change to PDF for printing. And then you can keep all these other settings, but for all pages, we need to download the front and back as separate files. And it will make more sense when we're actually going to set this campaign up. But we need to do PDF for printing and then page 1, download. No worries. Oh, download in the top, oh, sorry, hold on. Download button in the top right. And then change it to PDF for printing. And then leave the other settings other than all pages. You need to download them separately. So do page 1 first, and then do page 2, and do it twice. Once we have those downloaded, oh, and also you can name this again for your organization purposes, so you know what you're like when you look at your designs, what you're looking at. So that's where you can name that. But we can click done now to move us back to command. And then typically how these sections work together, I know not for the first part of class, but we create into the design section and then we go send that out in the campaign section. That's where we're going to go next. We're going to go to campaigns. We're going to go up to create campaign in the top right and do direct mail. And kind of thing, we need a name and a goal. And brand awareness works perfect. And create campaign. Then for content, so we're going to start with content. We're going to click that down. So instead of using these default templates provided, we're going to click over to upload a custom template. And for one, it's going to break down kind of those instructions that you need to know. So basically PDF format works best, and that the front and back need to be separate files. And then the command does the rest, like with the bleed and whatnot. Now, this is something to also like look at too, like if you wanted to create a postcard in Canva instead and pull that through command, that's absolutely doable. I actually have a video on our YouTube channel that goes through exactly how to do that. Let me just show it to you so you know how to find it at any time. But if you go to YouTube and you search for our channel, JuLeah Designs, right here. And under videos here, or you could also just like search using that search icon. If you search Canva, it's called using a Canva design for a direct mail campaign in Command. So that will walk you specifically through using it in Command or using it in Canva and how to do that. And they just have more options like designs wise. So that is something I typically utilize. Jumping back now though. Oh, that being said, the reason I brought that up, like it will walk through in the video, but this will be very important to set it up in Canva that way and the exact size that's needing it. Again, it will walk you right through in the video. But this lists out the exact instructions. So this is why we had to download those separately, because it's going to prompt you to upload those separately. So what we're going to do here is just browse our computer for those files that we just downloaded. Next, Market Center always got to put in that zip code and confirm it every time. So verify, click on that toggle, click confirm, check. Next, targeting. So again, you do need to, like, if you're farming, you need to know just one address in there so that you can have like a centralized for your targeting. So what I typically look up if I don't know one, it's just like maybe like the clubhouse like address or something like that. Save. And then again, budgeting can be changed on the next page. So I usually just ignore that and go right to configure targeting in the top right. Yes. And similar thing though, these steps kind of stay the same, where it defaults by 200 homes. We could change that here. We could expand that with this as well, like by moving that up or down. My favorite again is Polygon. So if I click on that, I can really target the area I'm looking for. Oops. Zoom out a little bit. There we go. And as soon as I close that shape, I'll see that number in the top left change to the actual number of targeting. So it's all gonna hit these homes here. Because I did a 4x6 postcard, I'll see that I can't change that from first class, so I can click next. Oh, wait, I wanted a copy here. And then this is that important preview to check out. And if you give it a second, it's gonna give you an extra red link to see that. I can click on that so I can do it. Go. So I can feel really good about sending that out, have all my information, making sure mainly nothing's cut off, especially if you're using like Canva or something like that. And then putting our email and our card number is going to. Yeah. So, how are you? Locked in. So that is postcards in Command. Any questions I could go over, comments, maybe even thoughts on how you're going to utilize this moving forward? Love it. It is, and it will be 72 hours-ish to get on our YouTube, not on our specific YouTube, on our Keller Williams Ballantyne YouTube page. And we have a little playlist that says like Tech Tuesdays. So it'll be there, so you can always reference it. And yeah, shoot us emails too if you have questions. Book an appointment with us. We can sit down, do a postcard together. So like, if you have an idea, come with your idea and we'll sit down, build it out together, send it out together. We're here for it. I think it's easier, especially for like listing and neighborhood information. My favorite part about Command Designs is that it's synced to our, like to the MLS. So grabbing that information makes it a lot easier. Canva just has just more options out there for you. Like it's a company for like designs. So they just have like a ton of different options. And just a heads up, as a KW agent, you do get 20% off Canva Pro for the annual Canva Pro. And I can show you where you can get that discount if that's interesting to you. Ah, well, there you go. Yeah, you get a discount. So where we can find that discount in Command, so log into Command at agent.kw.com and then go to Marketplace in the near the bell icon, like a little storefront icon. It's like next to the bell icon, it's like a little storefront. And when you hover over, it should say Marketplace right here. And it's in Command, like agent.kw.com. Yeah. Especially like, yeah. And then once you click on that like little storefront icon, Marketplace, you can just click that search icon. Hi, thank you. And search Canva. And this is, it's the only one that comes up, like Canva for KW. And it's $96 for the year instead of, I think it's $120 typically. So I think it's a 20% discount. I mean, I'm a little biased being the marketing team. I use Canva like every second of every day. So, so I really like its use. There's just so many things to do in there. Yes, that's so true. Mhm. Yes, how many people that receive it when once you like send out the campaign or like that direct mail campaign, the amount of people that receive it is going to be listed in your campaign section. Like so under campaigns, if we go to direct mail near the top, once we send it, it's going to show like right on the side the number of people sent it to. Now the best way to really track it would probably be a QR code. So that you can, for one, capture leads that way. And like to get really advanced, if you set up like Google Analytics to the page that you pointed them to, then you could technically track the number of people who go. Yes, we also do postcards for agents. If you're needing some leverage, we do that for agents. So me too. I love to break it down. Like we can talk through all. Those are the fun ones. So. So yeah. Any other questions I could answer for you with this? Yeah, right. Yeah.
A profile, yeah.
Mhm. Probably your Facebook here. Let's see. Okay, yes, for your social campaign. Yeah, I'll show you where we can connect that up. So if you go to your name in the top right and go to settings, it's one of those things you just need to connect up once and then you're good to go. But you do need to connect it up once. So under settings, or sorry, my name and then settings. Your screen's gonna look a little different because mine connected apps come up top. For what you're looking for particularly, you're looking for the applications that have post scheduling next to it. So the things we can hook up for that is Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. They all have to be business accounts though. So if it's like kicking back, like for Twitter, for example, it's probably not a business account. I honestly don't see agents use Twitter that much. But for like Facebook, if you go to Facebook post scheduling and click connect account on the right-hand side, it should just prompt you to like sign into Facebook and then you select your business page. And just a heads up, like the campaigns, like the social post scheduling section in Command is only speaking to your business page. It's not posting to your personal page, it's to your business page. And that's why like Instagram, it will prompt you to sign into Facebook as well, but it needs to be a business account and it needs to be connected to your Facebook account. So if you have any issues there, feel free to let me know. I can help. I know. While I'm just talking about it though, if you are switching your Instagram account to a business page, like to a professional account, for one, it's it doesn't like change your experience on Instagram. The only thing it does is it adds an extra contact me button to your profile, which is great for you anyway. But the main thing to know is it's going to ask you to select a category. Instead of picking real estate, pick entrepreneur. That way you have access to all the music library. So if you pick real estate, it only gives you like commercial options. Instagram, Instagram business, make sure your category there, it says entrepreneur and not real estate. It's tricky. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I can help with that too. And it's not something like you don't like need to, it's not too big of a change or anything. Click your name in the top right of command and then go to settings. And then you'll see like things that you can connect up there. Oh. Previous to this, me and my sister worked at Scott Lorry Marketing. So like the people who did your setup. So we worked for 600 different KWs for like 5 years. So it's like such specific niche knowledge. So I get really excited when I get to share it with people. It's not like my friends know what I'm talking about ever. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming, guys. I love when they plug in. Yeah, here, let me come on over. Yeah, yeah, no problem. Oh, awesome. Oh, oh, wow. I, I love that. That happened. Yeah, you're good. You're so good. Got disconnected with like a new experience. Okay, let's go to edit profile for me. Scroll down a little bit. Okay, so is that the right page? We move Charlotte. No, it's long tab. Right?
See though.